This week's episode of High Off the Glass is brought to you by Sour Diesel. When you have to drive all the way across the country, but you can't find your way off the couch, accept no substitute.
Yes, we are here this week. Well, and she is happy. We are here this week for High Off the Glass. Everybody, welcome. Where's my crowd? There they are. Yay! Welcome, yay! Hello, everybody. Welcome to High Off the Glass this week. I am brought together.
Are you, motherfucker?
Man, first time, damn. Okay, damn. So we got Shorty last week. I was gonna be me. What the hell? So we got Short Bus last. You ain't gonna get me. You ain't gonna get me. You better,
I'm writing up the paper.
You better bag your fake Jimmy Butler ass looking ass up, boy.
Taking a note.
I'll just mute you right now. Anyway, this is on the great. I had some awesome guests this week. Y'all know who this is. He's not one of the awesome guests. This is Boston. You know who it is. Producer extraordinaire, aka Dick. Just being in here for no reason, setting up shop for us. Setting up shop for us right now. But I am here with my brother from another mother that was here last week that joined me, Mr. Tom is back. How are you, sir? Hello,
I'm
Tom.
Doing
How
great,
are you?
actually. Wonderful.
Yay.
Yes.
Tom is back with his lovely... I don't want to ask this question because I might get somebody in trouble, but you know,
we're partners.
Partner.
Partners.
Yeah, that's the phrase we use. That's the word we use.
See,
yeah.
I didn't know that was used for heterosexual people. I thought that was for.
I think it happens like when I'm talking to people and I'm like my partner. They think
I don't like saying boyfriend.
Yeah, she doesn't like the boy and girlfriend stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
partner. It's a solid phrase.
Okay, that's
done so much together. It's a partnership.
I like that explanation. We are joined today by Sonia Day. Hello, how are you, man? How are you? Oh man, boy, you know what? You get on my left nerve. Right? How are y'all doing today?
Oh my gosh.
Good.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Almost. Yeah, we're here to celebrate you and learn about podcasting.
I tell you,
Team Sonia and Tom.
I don't know.
What are you gonna tell you?
See. Look at the hater. Look at the hater. That's the hater. That's the hater. That's the hater right there. See, isn't too much. Not too much. I can tell you. You know what I can tell you? Keep doing it.
We will. We're gonna learn.
Keep doing it. Yeah, stick around because if you stick around, we'll get your ass produced.
We're gonna learn.
Stick around.
We want to delete warning now or later.
Oh, weekly. You guys heard it, right? You guys heard it. Yep, we have to have it. The weekly threat. If you guys, listeners to the show know the weekly threat that I get from Mr. Boston about deleting my show, which he always promises to do, but never does. Thank goodness. He's a hater. All right. But
rabbit ass mind.
still talking. Nobody listen. Shut your ass up. What's the name?
I'm confused.
Right.
Did we start already?
We did. This is how we're jumping off.
All right,
This is how we're jumping off. And we got the video going, so we're good to go.
I love it.
We're good to go.
Legacy.
This will be the sloppiest open ever.
I love
but it'll work.
Sloppy.
You know what I'm
My
saying?
middle name.
Oh wow.
But
Hello, Jesus.
I don't know.
And on that note,
I know, I love it.
you walk out on it.
That's one way I really operate the best.
Man.
Like inappropriately to get things on track.
I loved it. Yeah, but thank you guys for coming. I love podcasting, and the one thing reason why I do it is because it's awesome.
Yeah,
the way I
fun.
feel after I do it feels great.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to you guys about you. What do you have, Miss Sonia?
Oh.
What do you have on the table? Because you have so much. Matter of fact,
yeah.
let's skip that. Before that,
there's our story.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this young woman I've known literally
a decade at least.
I'm 39 years old. I turned 40 tomorrow.
Maybe.
Which is crazy. I turned 40 tomorrow. That's real life. So I'm 39 for a few more hours. I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I met this woman when I was 25. I worked at City Museum and
Word.
she was in there, and
Got
soon
so
after
many
that was
good
running it.
stories
And
from our
I've known
service.
from the age of 25 to 30 to 40, I've known this woman. It's awesome. How are
Hey,
you?
that's good. I'm great. I'm really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you. Oh, the great.
I've known you for a minute.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Well,
been so
I remember, like, when you work with people, it's like we connect on a new level, like, because we're soldiers in a service industry. Like, we have to support each other.
Right.
We
It is a certain.
like that's exactly.
Yep,
you were the best event team ever. I had so much fun at work. Those are my
Aw.
favorite nights.
Thank
I
you.
think I still have your purple manager work shirt that I stole from you.
I remember those.
And I wore that purple shirt like a renegade. I was like, what? I'm in charge. I got a purple shirt. I'm
Right,
a part of the event team.
Right. People,
that was so fun.
when you come to St. Louis, you need to check out, there's this man, his name is Bob Castley. He created this thing that is something that you dreamt as a child that you wanted to go to and go do. This man took your dream and created it
in reality.
from things,
immersive,
from scrap, from art. He just brought things together and made this thing from your dreams. And you can go in it, you can play in it, you can learn from it. And that's where I met this young woman. It's called City Museum, and if you work there, if you were special enough to be on the event staff, you got a purple shirt.
That's right.
You got a purple polo. You got a cheap ass purple polo.
I still have it, actually. It's like a tribute to the Great. I seriously am a hoarder of clothes, so I've hung on to that purple shirt with it's got my City Museum emblem on it. I'm proud of that time I served, you know?
That is tight.
I'm proud of that. That was such a great experience in my life, you know, and how I learned to love St. Louis and love really everything about St. Louis and learn how to work with people, you know, like learn how to serve the community, learn to serve a lot of people at once that we had to manage and handle, you know, so it was a great job. It was a great time. Yeah.
I tell you, the memories I have of you, how you would run Art City. And you just took, like, you were in there and you were working it, and you were just one of the people. And then shortly after me getting there, you know, you were running it, and then shortly after that, you were officially running it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because it was your
manage, be a team player.
Yeah, that place, like you just said, that was a great point you just made. That place taught you how to work with people.
Yep.
How to be a people person and how
every
to
different
cater.
type of people all the time, constantly influx of spontaneous. Anything could happen at any time. You have to be able to like go with the flow completely and be able to communicate with the people that you work with to like, you know, get through the day.
Oh my goodness, that job.
I remember starting there at like 500 people a day, then it was 1,000 people a day, and then we would have these events where we're like dealing with like 8,000 people, and like making it flow, and then we'd like be done at work at 1 o'clock and be like, look, we wrapped it up, done deal. That's what good teamwork does, man. And you connect with people. You know, when you work together in that, no matter what, we were brought together like, at that place to serve then, and then. I mean, the people I've worked with forever, they're like in my heart. Like, we've survived some stuff together. We've survived some long shifts and like seen some things, you know. The city there was a dangerous place and people got hurt and there was always some kind of drama or moving somebody in a wheelchair or like drunk people at events. Oh, Lord. You know, you really had to develop a new kind of patience to like be for real. Taught me so much. I've also a little PTSD from that place. I have to admit, I'm a little like
because you could get that too.
Woo, that's real.
Yes, it is.
But I do remember coworkers, you know, and these are the people who have played a role in my life that are friends forever, right? We survived some stuff together.
Shout out
to the word. Anybody at the City Museum now, check it out. To Bob Castley forever.
Shout out to past, present, and future employees at City Museum.
Holding it down.
Shout out to Bob Castley, his ex-wife Gigi, their kids, man.
For real. Max, he's still raging it. They're doing great stuff. You know, the City Museum, ongoing greatness right there. So it's really fun to be a part of that and fun to be a part of that legacy. You know, we can look back and say, I was there at that place. You know,
I just saw Max's sister at
Daisy.
There
Heart.
The beautiful Daisy. You know what I'm saying? Saw her at this shitty go-kart place I used to go to last year.
And then you're connected forever. I mean, these are our family now. Like, if you work together with somebody, you are friends forever. If you didn't learn to really totally hate each other. On the other side.
Exactly.
There's two
the other
sides
side
of that.
Yeah, the other side of that is love.
We won't go there. Let's say, like, leave it all at love right there. Leave it all at love, that place, and glad I've moved on. So right now, you know, doing new stuff. So I met this guy after my time, during my time at City Museum. I finally met him, and then we were able to make some dreams come true and open up that shop Kismet. And I retired from the City Museum to go participate and create Kismet. So leaving the City Museum was a hard thing to do because that was like the dream job, that was the coolest job I could ever imagine.
I actually remember we were down in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
And that's when where the decision got made because we went to, a psychic or had somebody do tarot cards?
Yeah, I had a tarot reading in New Orleans, and it was like, do your thing. The reading was like, you've worked for everybody else for such a long time. Now do your thing, like activate in it. And we came back and we're like, all right, let's look for a place. Let's create a business, whatever it is. You know, when you have $10,000 at your disposal, you can feel like you can do anything, right? So that feels like that's the opportunity to like make something happen right now. So that's exactly how we developed Kismet. It was like, all right, well, this is our dream. Let's do it. Here's Cherokee Street is the kind of place where you can create something like that.
That's
so
awesome.
We were able to hook up with Tatiana, who was the owner of the Handlebar. Okay. And she's the landlord. So she trusted me enough to like let us get a place started before we even knew what we were doing. So Kismet was like a total experiment. And like, he's got a lot of records, and I wanted to create some kind of creative center. So he talked about last week about being music proprietor and learning all that. And my part of that was the creative part of it. What I learned from years at the City Museum, years at working for like creative resource places, was how to like enjoy and use a space. Right. So that was the real idea. We had we played a little bit around with art making there at Kismet for a while, but I moved it to another place. It was too small. So we just moved towards like the creative expression of music and acting and reading, like poetry and stuff. So that was my take on Kismet. He handled the records and I handled the events where we would like create experimental music and bring together people to do poetry readings or whatever sense. So I handled like coordinating meetings and
what was
events.
you kind of had a criteria for the type of art that.
Yeah, absolutely outsider. So I wanted to support local artists. That's what Kismet Creative Center 2 was all about, was supporting artists directly, creating a marketplace where artists could come and have a space where they could sell their art. So it was on consignment. I'd have a different art show, a different outsider artist, which means like somebody in the neighborhood who paints on things from the neighborhood, and I put it in there and like, or create some sort of space where artists could set up a vending table and like have we wanted to like create a marketplace that supported actual humans, that create art instead of the like need for like an expensive gallery show. We wanted to put the raw outsider art together. So that's what Kismet was.
And we did so many other like events, like the what was
Harmonious Marketplace.
That's the word I was looking for.
We get the hippies together like 2 Sundays a month. The other 2 Sundays we'd have the socialists come and have a meeting. So when it wasn't like a marketplace, it was used as like a place to put chairs in a circle and talk to each other. Community development really was like, here it is a record store, but it was like a space in the community where people could gather, That's the idea. So that's what Creative Center was. We didn't really like, paying retail rent's kind of expensive. So we had to back off of the storefront, but Kismet Creative Center still exists, right? So we collectively as a business, he still sells records and I am still doing creative events and creating events. So that's how Kismet Creative Center is morphed from like what was a shop at Cherokee in Iowa to now a sort of new thing, like a reformat of what a business looks like, where he's still selling records all over the world. Like,
and we still use
records everywhere.
The Kismet name, we're still the same Facebook page.
Supporting artists, going to different places, creating our Facebook Live events, and then we want to learn to do a podcast. So that's why we're here.
And that's where this comes in. I get it. Yeah. But this is my question for you. And Tom spoke about how the Kismet spirit and Kismet itself is not dead, it's not gone. And so we know that. But my question, though, because I want to know about, to be honest with you, I want to know about Sonia Day.
Oh, yeah.
Because one thing I've always known about you, you've always been a very communal, giving, open, loving,
Thank you. That's very sweet.
Teaching type of person. So what makes you, because you're still doing, before Kismet, when I knew you at City, after City, and now you're doing stuff for the community and art. What made you in your life want to do that so much?
It's such a good question. Thank you.
Well,
Yeah, a little bit about Sonia Day. Yeah, I studied art. I got my associates in fine art from East Central. Mm-hmm. I knew I wanted to teach art all my life. I taught my little teddy bears how to organize their crayons and their art supplies. I played that game as a child, so I knew all along I was going to be an art teacher of some kind. Some sort of different aspect, though, because I went and studied education at Webster, and I looked at all of those things, and then I was in the schools, and I saw how challenging it is for an art teacher. She has 900 students, and they're all like crazy, and they stop in for 20 minutes a day, and it just seems like that's a nutty job. I don't want to get up at 7 in the morning to do that. No thanks. I have to find a different way to get by in the world, right? So I still teach art. I teach art. That's my being is I guess you said that radical self-expression is how I would define myself. In a way, I want to encourage everyone to feel that, a sense of what it's like to express yourself. Yeah. So I want to make that available to everyone and encourage people to play and encourage people to laugh. And my favorite word in the world is to enjoy. What that means is to build joy. So anywhere I go, anyone I meet, if I want to make them smile just out of my impulse or want to encourage them to play and create and express themselves in some way, so that's a Sonia Day. That's the whole mission of my life is to inspire people to express themselves. Okay. Radical self-expression. Right. That be who you are and let that thing shine, this little light of mine, that's a Sonia Day. That's who I really, truly, deep down feel like I am, and my purpose in the world is to express that in some way. So that's why I do, so I'm driven completely to support local artists, because I like to paint on things. I like to paint on cabinets and paint on boards, and I like to weave trash together, and I'm all about this repurpose, recycle. Born from the City Museum, I ended up there because I'm all about repurpose and recycle, and stayed with
That's
it.
the meaning of that place.
Absolutely, and that's what it's about to me. Is what can we make something out of nothing? Exactly. Let's teach everyone how easy it is to make something out of nothing. Yeah. And when I'm working creatively, creating with kids, it's hey, here, look, how can we make out of this aluminum foil scrap? What can we make out of these paper sticks that will somehow challenge them to think? Wow. That's what it's really about, is thinking, is encourage people to use their beautiful brains and express their beautiful selves, whatever that is. So I believe in that. Everybody's got something in them, and I feel mine is already kind of sparked and shining in a way, because I choose to do art, because I choose to laugh, and I choose to be a more expressive kind of human, a Leo, whatever that is. I don't know that I even chose it. I was sun sign, so I'm naturally a leader, and people look to me, and then I just happen to be goofing off and having fun, or so I like to turn that into something that's real, so that's why I'm teaching artists in a new format. That's how I've gone from working at Kismet as a creative director and doing that to creating some events, or now I work at local community center, Thomas Dunn Learning Center. Okay. I'm the artist in residence there, going on year 3.
So is that where you teach in the community now?
It's how I serve my community right now.
Awesome. What part of town?
Dutchtown. Gravois Park, South Side.
Gravois and Clark. South Side?
South Side. Okay. Oh, I love it over there. This job is a dream come true. So we're still running Kismet. Is great. We're still doing that. Yeah. And now I'm also serving my community. I work about, 15 hours a week, in this great art studio, open it up so that I can serve whatever creative materials the community should need. I'm doing life drawing classes, watercolor classes. The space is open for people to come in and use art supplies or borrow art supplies, or if you need art supplies, I will give you a bag full of art supplies. It's there. It's a resource center and an art studio where I'm working on the stuff that I might be working on. I had a summer camp where we totally developed a whole reuse fashion show. It was the cutest thing.
It was super
totally
cute.
about teaching kids to be through art entrepreneurs. So I have a whole little crew that made a bunch of headbands and then sold them in a pop-up shop, So it's teaching that to community, or just, I'm all about community. That's got to be my other favorite word, right? Yeah. I talk about it all the time. It comes up in everything that I'm doing. Yeah. That's, I think, kind of what Kismet was about. Creating a community around music somehow.
That's kind of what I meant too, I think, with that question. Where that about you, that community aspect, that you are all about. You're kind of like me in that aspect where you want to be inclusive.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't want to be exclusive. You want everybody to come. Where did you get that?
Yeah, that's Leo leadership. That's like natural Leo leadership. Yeah. Maybe it's a control issue. I want to be in control of things. I want to like command armies to like do great things, you know. Right. I want to like just make a good party, you know, have a good time, and that takes a little effort sometimes, right? Yeah. So that's the leadership something. I want it. I crave it. Yeah. Like I want to be the boss. I want to make something happen. That's the artist in me. I'm like, I think that's where that comes from. Like driven to create community, just so that we can have more people around to celebrate and make life more beautiful. Right. More people around. Community, you know, it's really, it gets easier when there's more people doing a big task, right? Yeah. So maybe that's a part of why I like it. Like, come on, people, let's get together and have a good time and do something great, right? I'm about community. So what that means to me is, right now, you know, we just bought a house on the south side. I'm going to be a part of like a leadership development groups that...
Well, you bought a new house?
Oh, no, we got our house on Michigan, right? So that's what Kismet is. We're buying that house. We want to like make our neighborhood awesome. Yep.
Give the address. So, say it.
3433 Michigan. That's the new Kismet's going to be Airbnb by 2020. It's big plans. There you go. Big plans. We'll have a few parties out there. You know, we'll have a community garden. You know, buying that house makes me so now connected to this neighborhood.
You will love it, y'all. Every time I go there, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, Sonia.
Tell about it.
Every time I go there, I feel better as a person.
We eat mulberries off of the tree. Tree Skittles, remember?
Good. They're so sweet.
The mulberries are so good.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's getting better and better. We're building a fire pit and backyard party space. And just, you know, the longer we live there, we're more developing it into something. And we build more. So, like, neighborhood now need community of friends, family, volunteers who want to come and celebrate with us. We have big soup pots, right?
Yeah, we make lots. We make foods.
We need to share with people. I mean, it's like really, there's something in that we're driven.
Tom says we make food.
We make foods. We make foods. We want to have people over for dinner.
We
you know,
do. We really do.
Do that just to develop friendships, you know, and tell stories and listen to stories and learn from each other and then support each other. And God, it's hard to carry a bookcase by yourself, right? Like call a friend, right?
Tell it, girl.
Get your community
it's
together.
Hard to carry it by yourself.
It really is. It's hard to carry this by yourself. So that's just community. I feel like that's my reach out. Like, oh, please help me build community. I've got all these great ideas. I've got all this like opportunity. Let's build something with it, you know? So again, that's why I want to do podcasts, right? Because we reach so many more people. Our conversation is not just the three of us. It's we can make this vehicle reach more people. You know, that's everything.
I hear you. You guys definitely can do it, especially with all the energy and the knowledge that you two have. You guys are go-getters. So I know you'll definitely make that happen.
Team Sonia and Tom. That's right. That's our team, baby.
But you know what? Let's get a good sound effect for that. Horrible.
That was a horrible.
Here we go. No, that's not. There we go. Yeah, all right. Tom, Team and Son.
Team Son and Tom.
God,
there you go.
Sonia and Tom. Tom and Sonia.
Tom and Son, yeah.
Is it Sonia and Tom or Tom and Sonia?
I think it's Son and Tom. Yeah.
Okay, this week.
Yeah.
I fucked it up so bad.
I'm sorry.
It's hard to say. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
I wish Boston was here for he would have fell out.
No, it's natural. Like,
oh God.
That's my favorite podcast too, when people are being real and just being your real self, you know, like what a cool opportunity to like fumble and still be real and share who we are, real humans.
Okay, now look, here's you know how we do on High Off the Glass. This is stuff that, you know, you're a friend of mine. You're a big time smoker like me.
Yep, talk about it.
So yes, we definitely talk about it. Oh, I love it. Yes, I love talking about
believing
marijuana.
In it.
Yes, ma'am. Always believing in it. Yes. How? And these are literally questions that I've wanted to ask you for the longest. Okay. Like, I don't even know. I'll just start here. I'll do something simple and basic. When was the first time you ever smoked?
Good question. Since I was a baby child, I wanted to smoke things.
Baby child.
I would like wander around, get a pack of matches, and light things up and smoke them and smell them. I would be very interested in that. I remember like smoking random leaves and stuff in the garden before even the time came. And then somebody connected me with an opportunity to enjoy some marijuana, and I was about 12 years old.
Tell the people where you're from, everybody, too.
Oh,
so
yeah. I'm from Franklin County, Missouri, right?
Yeah.
I'm right here, Midwestern, born and bred in the middle of Missouri.
Yeah.
All my life. Grew up in Sullivan, Missouri.
Yeah.
Right. It feels
Country girl, y'all. Country.
So liberating now in this day and time in America, where I can be liberated enough to speak that clearly, that I love marijuana. I love it. I've always been intrigued by it, and I love it. Oh, let's just say.
Wait, 12 years old.
12. First time I ever tried some.
Who gave you marijuana?
My cousin. It was my cousin. She was 14. She had a boyfriend who was 16, and we went for a ride in his car. And
country folks,
we were around some gravel roads, and we got out and like smoked it, and I loved it. Oh my gosh, I laughed all the way home. And then I think I became like a regular smoker after high school. Like I smoked occasionally whenever I could get my hands on it. And then I became a regular, like got a job so that I could buy my own and make sure that I always had some after high school.
Wow.
So that would be 1993.
After high school, that's funny.
Became like a daily regular user of it. But I mean, like in high school, I still like smoked in the morning before school, and I still smoked all the time. But
you weren't like a for real smoker.
Yeah. Well, you gotta like get a job and buy some. Got to make some money first. Yeah. And I think that was half the reason why I decided to get a job.
You can get marijuana without money.
That's true. Absolutely. And I remember one of my friends had grown some, and I was drying some, and I remember very specifically having like about 2 pounds of it drying in some tapestry hanging from the ceiling when I was like 14 years old.
What?
And then we just like rolled up hella. When I'm 14, we just
wait, slow down. When you were 14, you had some drying from the ceiling? Oh, yeah,
my friend grew some.
Oh, shit.
I love being able to confess. It feels like so liberating to be able to speak my truth.
What you mean?
I mean, just, you know.
Never said that? You never talked about that before?
Well, it feels liberating to talk about it, because it felt like such a criminal action for such a long time. And I think I would have been paranoid to talk about it 10 years ago. Would have been paranoid to admit that I've done that or participated in that, So I'm really proud to be able to talk about it. God, it feels so good and liberating to say, this is my choice. And it's a good choice.
So that's one thing I love that you brought that up. That's one thing that I've always wondered about you. You're such a hippie. You're such a smoker. You know what time it is.
Paranoia.
And you're so fucking annoyed, dude.
I know.
You act like, see, the thing with me when I started.
I've seen too many of my friends pay their dues, man. I've seen too many of my friends get busted for nothing.
Okay.
I would hate for it to like get busted holding and like
I totally
spend time
understand
in jail and never be able to get another student loan, and all the rules that came down around it made it so terrifying to admit the truth or practice.
I never had that. I never had that problem. I never was in fear when I had marijuana of pigs or
small town
or some type of this or some type of that. I grew up in a small city, but I never was worried about that. In
5,000 people in Sullivan, like you're like committing a crime, they're gonna make an example of you if they find you having anything, right?
Wow.
So I grew up under that fear.
Right.
That I'm going to get popped, I'm going to get busted, I'm going to go to jail or have to get put into the system because I have this plant. And I constantly, the paranoia from that is real. That's a stress. Mm-hmm. That's terribly anxiety building, know? And then what you have to do to sort of make sure that you get what you need or make sure you get the medicine that you need. Like some of those drives that I took carrying were terrifying, because if I would have been pulled over, seriously, to help make sure that the plant is where it needs to be in serving the people, I've had to make some criminal actions. Yeah. And it's really scary to admit that,
See, that's the thing. You look at it like they're criminal actions.
Yeah, well, who doesn't?
But see, that's the thing. They're not criminal
actions.
Not
anymore. Things are changing.
Exactly. But look at it. What were you actually doing back then? You were simply hooking your friends up
for
with
real,
a plant.
I was just...
You're just giving your friends a certain type of plant
exactly
they like.
What the truth
That's all
is.
you were doing.
Yep.
That's literally all you were doing. And that's why, when I drive around and I smoke. I was doing it when I was on my trip last week when I was in New York and Springfield. When I was out on the East Coast, I'm driving around smoking. I'm smoking, at my hotel. I'm not in fear of any damn thing because I always feel like I'm on the right side when I have marijuana. When I have marijuana, I don't feel like, and this goes from when I was 16,
Yeah.
when I first started doing it, and I guess that when I was 16, I was like, what, 95, something like that. When I was 16 years old and I first started doing it to up until right now, 2019, I had never felt like, oh, I shouldn't have this, and this is the wrong thing. Da, 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 da. Now, I felt like that when I was around real drugs, when I was around like heroin,
that's so bad.
And crack,
there's a shame associated,
and stuff like that. When I was around shit like that, I felt like, oh, something don't feel right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when I was around cannabis and I had it in my possession, no matter where I went, I felt fine. And I wasn't scared. I wasn't worried about, oh, somebody's going to get me. You know what I'm saying? I just, and I hate that someone who's so down like you and so cool like you and such, that you have that fear.
I don't want to pay a ticket. I don't want to have to pay a ticket. I don't want to end up going to jail.
You still have that right now, baby, with everything that's happening.
I know. That's the real thing. It's a criminal action to carry. To do that for real until it changes, until I get my certificate. And that's such a shame, right? That people have to feel that way. Anyone across the board has to feel like making a natural choice is a crime is just a real shame.
I'm going to tell you like this. I've gotten pulled over in neighborhoods in St. Louis that you'd be shocked by. That if I told you this, if I told you the names of them, and my car smelled like it, they didn't see it, they let me go.
Yeah.
Or other times where they asked me if I had some, I told them no. They believed me, they let me go. Or times they asked me if I had some, I told them, and they took my blunt and let me go.
Oh, there you go.
Like, because they wanted to smoke. You know
that
what
was
I'm saying?
The beauty of moving to the city, from Sullivan to the city, was the anonymity.
Yeah.
Like, because I really was like,
what's that?
Anonymity. That's like,
I don't know what that
I'm just one of everybody else. I'm
anonymous.
Anonymous. Yeah.
I always thought it meant that. I wasn't sure. I like that word.
Yeah, well, that was the big change, right? Because I grew up in Sullivan with 5,000 people, and my friend was like, he was my dealer, he was my best friend. I went to him, and then he was also involved in other things, and then the DEA gets involved in his life. And, if you've ever seen a DEA SWAT team close in on somebody, it's real fear. That's a real war.
Damn.
It's terrifying. So if you've ever had the DEA bust in your house and draw guns on people and say, we're here to... So it's happened in my house on Connecticut Street. I've seen people get taken out by the DEA, trailer parks in Franklin County. For real. No wonder I'm annoyed. Tell you, I got a little PTSD from a lot of silly things,
I see.
So it's like, no wonder I'm paranoid. No wonder I'm anxious all the time. No wonder I need a prescription for my medicine.
That's the thing. You're such a cool person too, so like you've always been like, you were somebody at City when I met you. Like you were somebody I admired because you were always cool. You always, had a level head.
Because I was blazed every day before I went to work, maybe.
Basically.
I love being able to admit that.
For real.
Yeah, for real. I think that's what I'm saying. Here I am, here to admit it to the world that I have enjoyed marijuana every day since I was 1993.
You got to.
I think 11 days went by once whenever I didn't, and it was treacherous. And on that 11th day, it was like God shined a light on me, and through me and into me came the plant, and its magic changed my life.
Real talk. I want to fire
For real.
That other blunt I rolled, I want to fire it up now.
Let's save it. This is post-game.
There it is, yes.
Post-game.
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 I want to spark that motherfucker right now. I wish we could smoke a spark in the studios.
All right, in time.
I think when I do my NFL preview, we go to this other studio. I'm going to be smoking in that.
Yeah, we're going to create a podcast where we'll be able to be outside and do whatever we want.
No. That'll be on High Off the Glass on this podcast.
All right, good. Let's do it.
Yeah, because at the next location where we record at, we will be smoking.
All right, good. I'm into that.
We will definitely do that. Here's my question to you. Talk about, you know what? Yeah, talk about Weed Squad.
Weed Squad, yeah, my good friends. That's exactly right. This is a great time to be in America right now because we're now liberated by this. Now, this business, you've heard of Geek Squad, right? They could do tech support. And they come to your house and help you with tech support. Well, same, Weed Squad. Mm-hmm. They're over on Watson Road. They just opened up their retail storefront. Mm-hmm. You can go there. You can learn about the paperwork, learn about the legal things you need so that you can get certified to learn everything you need. Weed Squad is there to support everything about it.
the glass.
Everything about it. So yeah, we're gonna get. I'm working on them.
Keep talking about it. No, what do they do? What else?
Well, they just opened up, so they'll be able to support you in getting the legal paperwork that you need, and
So
then they can come to your house and help you set up a grow.
Whoa.
And they can come to your house and help you support that growing system.
Wow.
So that's how they can teach you to do it, and then
Yeah.
come there and support whatever it is. So you can learn to be, what is it? There's so many new laws coming down. I hate to butcher them right now, but I think that you should be able to grow some to become a provider. You can be like a caregiver and provide that. You can also get certified so that you can grow it right here in Missouri, and they're there to help you answer any questions that you have.
Right.
So we'll hook you up with Weed Squad, for real good friends of mine.
Wow.
That are just it's unprecedented what they're doing, and they're just moving through it. They just had their grand opening on Watson Road. I think it's 8088 Watson Road.
There it is. Say the address again.
8088 Watson Road, Weed Squad. They just opened up their storefront. Come check them out. Just wander in there for real. Call them up or look at them up on Facebook, and they will help you figure out this next step that's happening here in legalizing in Missouri. They're going to get on board there so that we can start setting up this new type of business, a new type of world where you can grow it and you can share it and you can make a business out of it.
This is so awesome. It's this explosion of cannabis legalization and decriminalization
great time.
has been so freaking amazing.
What a blessing. It's what we need right now.
I'm just shocked by it.
It's about time. I've lived my life in a space where we learn to respect this plant, and I'm so proud that it's happening in my lifetime. I'm proud that we've signed petitions and we've done everything we can to move it forward.
Yes.
We've abolished the fear behind it and learned a new language and a way to treat it like it's medicine, and quit referring to marijuana as drug. And let's really emphasize that drugs are bad, okay? And marijuana is a medicine. It's a plant. It's like a tomato that's cultivated, and it can be delicious. And it can be a lot of different flavors and should be enjoyed because God made it.
Always. He made it for us.
Right. God made it for us. So let's enjoy that thing, right?
Right.
Back to enjoyment. What that means in life. We got to build joy. We got to do something that can relieve our pain and inspire us. So to me, that's the gift of the plant, is that it opens up the mind. It opens up the heart. When you get higher, right, you can see further. That's my saying. Held on to that forever.
It's very true.
Yeah, for real. I see further. I can believe. I can open up my mind in a way that helps me be inspired.
Right.
And then I get the great ideas that help me make the world a better place. Right. It helps me be more patient. It helps me in so many ways. So yeah, especially I'm high strung. I'm Leo, high strung, ball of energy, helping me place that, manage that anxiety so that I can, get through it.
Here's a question for you. Here's something for your cannabis portfolio. Yeah. Have you ever smoked with your parents?
Yes, that was one of the greatest things. My pops was a gardener, and before in the last few years of his life, he retired and grew a beautiful garden, and he had a beautiful patch, and we got him some seeds, and he grew a plant that was probably about 15 feet tall. The stalk was about 3 inches wide. It was great. Oh,
shit.
So
he was proud of it. Of course we did.
Shit.
Of course we did.
And you got high off of it?
Well, my dad was in Vietnam. He'd been around a while. He was not new to it. It is not a new thing in the world. And my dad enjoyed marijuana. So he because it was against the law and because he had a job, he couldn't always do it, However, after he retired, he's all about it. Really, though, I really wish that at the time we could have used it to help him because he was on so many prescriptions. I feel like that's what took his life, and my mom too. So I have a vendetta against prescriptions. I'm no, I wish everyone could be on this pain reliever, this thing instead of these pharmaceuticals that cause them other side effects.
Right.
So I have a vendetta against prescription drugs and drugs in general because I've seen the damage that they can cause, and so that's why I like whenever we talk about it, we don't talk about it like that. We abolish that phrase, drugs. We don't associate it with that. Drugs are bad. Heroin is bad. Crack and cocaine are bad for people. We shouldn't do that. That hurts you. On the other hand, we shouldn't be classified in the same way, for real. So that's what I'm so excited to see this happening in America right now. I got friends that are profiting from it. A lot of my friends moved out to California, moved out to Colorado.
Okay.
And people that I knew through, the Grateful Dead music scene, my hippie friends,
Right.
have
That's
moved out there and done really well. Well, it's true. It's a good community, right?
It is,
it's cool
no doubt.
Vibe community.
It's a great community.
So that's what I love about it.
Yeah.
And so I got a friend out there in the CBD industry who's created her own business. So we could call up Amber Starr, what's the name of her business? Creating Blissful Days. She has a CBD business she makes her own tinctures and creams that have a base of CBD in them.
Yeah.
So, and she's having a successful business doing that, supporting her family.
Say it
with
again.
This new,
say the name again.
It's called Creating Blissful Days.
Creating Blissful Days.
Yeah.
And it's just all CBD infused products.
Yep. Pet tinctures. Tinctures that you can drink yourself, and tinctures that are specifically made for pets.
What are tinctures?
Tincture is like an alcohol mixture that's got CBD infused in it, and I think you can get like a full spectrum CBD that's also got THC in it.
Oh.
So you can take a tincture that will give you, all the positive effects, except in like a
Whose
liquid
phone
drop.
keeps going off? Is that mine?
It's gotta be you. That sounds like me.
Oh,
that's not mine.
This is what I've been
trying to
learning
do a
is
freaking
the
podcast.
best podcast professional.
You know what?
From Oval.
You know what? It's Coach Damon. That's my boy.
It's important.
Blew my phone up, bruh.
All right,
I'm gonna shout you out on the show.
How
Stop texting me. I really don't help you because you're hearing this after the facts, but stop it.
I got you. We hear you, Coach.
We hear you, Coach. But
it's so derailed. You told me not to ramble too much.
No, that was great.
Good. Okay, good.
That was great. I love
We'll talk about that.
Do you know what a tincture is or pincture?
Yeah, it's like like an eyedropper.
Have you had one?
Yeah, well, the CBDs. Yeah, I've done
the thing that she had to drink.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Yep.
It's good.
Yeah, I mean you don't get high off it or anything like that, but it kind of mellows you out a little bit.
Okay.
So
yeah, they even have speaking of CBD products now. They have CBD green. They have CBD.
Oh yeah,
marijuana
you can buy
that you can
the
smoke.
actual flowers that don't have the THC. That doesn't make no sense to me.
It doesn't.
I'm not. No.
It doesn't. But
I'm like,
but for people but here's the thing: if you want to smoke, and you're on papers, boom.
There you go.
There you go.
Better than a jewel, better than vaping, I think. You're still on flowers, right? I support the flowers. There's all these other types of things, but I'm definitely a supporter of, burning the actual herb. I feel like that to me is a vital sort of ritual in a way that's just my personal choice. I don't choose to do any of the other
so you don't like the pens.
Types. Not the pens.
Wow.
No, I'm not into that.
Wow.
But at the same time,
you're abstaining from them purposely, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Well, I just feel like I prefer the flower. I feel there's something about the smoke to me. There's something about it. I think it goes back to some other type of roots or reason why we smoke. You know, just like smoking a cigarette. Smoking ancient tobacco goes back to like more deeper reason why we actually use it. Because I don't know how they process it,
That's my thing.
I'm gonna buy organic eggs. I'm gonna also want to make sure my herb I choose is organic and grown correctly.
Organic cannabis. See,
absolutely.
And that's my thing. And I totally get why people love pens and vapes and all that shit. But it's just because the convenience of it is unmatched. You can't find anything that's as convenient as that. Maybe a dugout. But even with a dugout, you're still going to have that smell. But even they're just so convenient. But here's the thing, just like what you say, the reason why I can't all the way leave my flowers is because number one, the authenticity of flowers,
tasting it,
the realness of it, the
grinding
breaking it,
crafting it.
Bet that.
Beautiful. That's so beautiful.
Girl.
Yeah.
Talk.
It's about your hands, touching it, touching the earth, right? That's nature.
Feeling it in your fingers.
For real. That's nature. I'm about that. That's my hippie stuff.
That's my girl right
That's
here.
always connect with you. You're different.
Yes.
You're different.
Yes.
You like good music. I think that's how I knew the Great is going to be my friend because we love Stevie Wonder.
Thank you. I gave you a lot of music too.
Yeah,
I hope you still got the music I gave you. Put it on your computer.
I do. Somewhere locked in some hard drive. There's days of the best music. That was back in the 2000s.
Yeah, it was before me.
It goes way back.
It was a while ago. You lived on Connecticut when I brought that to you.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff. And that's how I knew. You remember our friend Marlon? Our little short friend Marlon. I love that guy. So there was nothing like being able to hang out with you guys. Like, just to be able to spend time. Like, this is my crew. Big O, Big O the Great, my little Marlon friend, little train driver.
Yeah.
And that's, these are my people. These are the people I want to be with in the world, the ones who are laughing the loudest, the ones who are animated. That's what I attract to other Leos, I guess, the cartoony people. Those are my best friends. That's why we friends, because we cartoons.
Wow.
That's why. That's why.
This got low-key called a cartoon.
Well, that's
better be a good one. Shit. Better be one of the ones that make you feel
we
good.
just relate. We on a wavelength, always have been. That's just the thing.
We have. I'll tell you one thing, and just because I want to get this out, you brought it somewhere else. I hate to even bring it back to the pens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all right. Talk about it.
I love what you said because that was love. Thank you, babe. That was love.
Later.
I appreciate it. It's just I don't know how was that made?
I think
how did you put that together? And how much natural THC or hemp or marijuana or whatever was put into that?
Well, I can speak from experience, and the times I have experimented with it, it's overwhelming to me. Feels like too much for me sometimes. So if I hit a vape pen compared to having another little, smoke of a pinch of some green compared to this vape pen, it would make me fall out, No. So I got a habit over here that's a daily intake of some flower plant matter, just like somebody else would smoke a cigarette. I have the same sort of want to enjoy. So at the same time, if I tried to hit the pen like that, I would fall down. I would probably just never be able to accomplish anything.
Yeah, you can't hit it. You can't hit a pen the same way you would hit a one hitter or a joint.
You cannot.
You got to know that, and if you know
that's
that, you're
one
good.
A day, and then you don't need it anymore for a long time.
I didn't have that feeling with me.
You make that mistake.
When I had it, I didn't have that problem. What had happened? Every time I've had the pen, I've had two things. It's either not been strong enough, or it's been right where I wanted it to be. I tell you, those are the two experiences I've had.
Don't get me wrong. I love it in every form. I'll take
I'm bigger than you, so.
I'll take it anywhere I can get it some days. I'm just saying.
Right. I totally understand that.
That's the true. That's the true. No, I want to talk about, what else did we want to talk about? I want to fill it in. Yes, I have a list of things to talk about. Yeah. Well, we want to talk about teamwork making dream work, and some of the teams that I'm on, because I wanted to remember, our co-working team. We worked at the City Museum. We made a really excellent event team. That's how you stay connected to people forever. Even though I don't know anything about sports, I don't do sports balls. I don't know much about it. I do love to watch it. I love how enthusiastic people get about it. The spirit behind it gets me really excited. Yeah. Because I'm busy art making or whatever, I've never really connected to following a lot of sports. So, I love it that we were in the Stanley Cup. I love it that we win the World Series. I love it. I'm so excited about team sports.
Who the Blues beat to win?
Sports test. The Sharks.
The Sharks.
Was it East Coast?
Football.
Has to be East Coast.
Hockey.
They're the Western Conference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Blackhawks. I don't know. I don't know. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of my lack of sports knowledge.
It's the Boston Bruins.
Bruins.
Boston
That
Bruins.
was your team.
Yeah, that was my team. It sucked.
I'm sorry.
But I was happy for St. Louis because I'm gonna tell you like this: Boston beat St. Louis in so much shit. If we would have beat them in another Stanley Cup.
St. Louis needed a win too. Our city needs a little spiritual boost, and I feel like that's what's important about sports. That is such a magical thing. I support it completely. The teamwork part of it, and I want that to kind of play into the rest of my life. Building good teams of good friends, good teams of volunteers. I'm on another team I wanted to talk about, my St. Louis Lady Arm Wrestlers. That's a big part of who I am because another thing that I wanted to be when I was a baby child, right? When I was a baby child, I was 8 years old. So you asked me what I wanted to be, I would have said a philanthropist. I don't spell that word, right? I didn't even know how to spell it.
At 8 years old, you wanted to be a philanthropist.
I wanted to be a philanthropist, right? Because I remember reading, I remember reading about a guy who was a philanthropist, and he would send you money if you wrote him a letter. Yeah. And I just was like, gosh, I want to be that. I want to be that person who can give people money.
Yeah.
Right? So whenever you're broke, it's hard to be a philanthropist, right?
Yeah.
But my spirit is in philanthropy, so we got to figure out ways to make funds available to people.
Right.
Another great thing about being in America right now is that we're kind of getting away from capitalism into a new place where we can like support each other through crowdfunding, support each other through alternate ways, a passive sort of fundraising that can make and support communities in strong ways, right? I'm about that. We take our regular money that we would spend for entertainment and buy some raffle tickets and give somebody some money, right? Somebody who's in dire need of some financial money, we can kickstart it, crowdfund it in some way that we can support our community again in an awesome way, right? So
Cash App, Venmo,
for
PayPal.
real, there's so many different ways that we can make that stuff happen. So I'm a part of an organization now that's how I get to be a philanthropist now that I'm grown and doing my life the way I want it, is being a part of this team that raises funds. It does these events that raise a lot of money. So proud to be a St. Louis lady arm wrestler. I know that's an odd thing to be.
Right. No,
and
it isn't.
And I found out about it from some of the girls who worked at the gift shop at the City Museum.
Yeah.
They created this thing kind of, I don't think it was a joke at all. I think it was for...
They created? Who was they?
This was Rachel Milton, Aaron Fisher, some people that worked at the gift shop. Some other people were a big part of it in the very beginning. So they created this event that was a fundraiser where dressed up in character lady arm wrestlers raise money off, part of it is about the theatrical kind of performance and improv whenever we're legit arm wrestling.
Wow.
Except like in really sexy costumes because we're trying to get to raise more money.
Where the heck is this at?
This happens at the Heavy Anchor on August 17th. We've done now. This is... Yeah, so I've been a part of this organization now for about 5 years.
Where's the Heavy Anchor?
The Heavy Anchor is on Gravois.
On Gravois.
So South Side again.
St. Louis, Missouri, y'all.
Yep, St. Louis, Route 66, Gravois. Over by Dutchtown by Bevo Mill. A little bit further, get to the Heavy Anchor. August 17th.
Come see women arm wrestle.
Yep.
Wow,
it's real.
I want to go to this. What day of the week is this?
This is Saturday night, right?
Hopefully I won't have to work.
Okay, then maybe why you haven't seen it yet. But you don't do Facebook either, so you would know about all my events because I'm a Facebook junkie. I'm all about Facebook events and sharing social media and inviting people that way. I don't, but St. Louis Lady Arm Wrestlers is on Instagram, so you got to check that out. You got to log on to that because they're gonna blow your mind, right?
Because I think Boston has a Facebook page for me, but I just hate Facebook. I don't like Facebook.
That's exactly why we probably haven't been to there yet. Because that's what I use to market most of my events. So
you got to text me, Sonia. You got to text me.
Well, I'm about to delight you with this whole new thing, this whole new kind of team.
How come you're not on Twitter anyway?
Lady arm wrestling. I'm a Luddite. Is that my word? I'm kind of like from another generation before yours that had rotary dial telephones. So whenever
you ain't but 4 years older than me, dude. You ain't but 4 years older.
Omar knows the rotary phone.
I know. I'm sure. So old.
Oh, the great
knows the rotary phone.
Rotary phone.
I knew we had one. We had one.
So I go way back, and I probably have a Twitter account that I've never tweeted into. I've probably downloaded it but never opened it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I don't play on my phone like most people do.
First off, you know what? I kind of get what you're saying. Honestly, I was 4 years older than you. We had computers in school when we were in third grade. You had computers in what, junior high?
Yeah, junior high, high school.
You had
I still
computers,
learned I had a typing class in high school. I had to learn a typewriter.
What year did you graduate?
93.
Oh!
Yeah.
Damn.
So another generation is another time. It's another time. It's why you tweet.
I was 97.
I'm also occupied. Like sometimes I crochet and knit and do things with my hands, like actual making real things.
Right.
So that
we actually had the internet when we graduated.
Things instead of like vapor. I spend too much time on Facebook. I have to admit that though. However,
I know it's addicting.
You follow St. Louis Lady Arm Wrestlers. Check it out because it's a spectacle. We always have like some sort of, band that opens up. This time we have I can't remember her name. Oh my gosh. We'll always have a band opening. We'll always have a mid-range.
Think about it. You
should have wrote a list.
Okay. No, you probably can think about it. Give yourself a second.
All right. Well, we'll pull it up. Every time we do it, we come up with a different theme. This one's called Can't Miss a Sloppy. We've had other ones like the Royal Rumble, or we've had different themes for every event. So yeah, this one's like a summer camp theme. So we make it a little different every time. We do it 4 times a year.
Okay.
You know, a Heartbreakers Brawl, right? We had like a Masquerade Brawl or other types of themes that we like to play up. So our costumes change a little bit and we characterize a little bit, and it's really a bunch of improv, but there's different characters. And my character originally was La Diabla, was a luchador. Totally crazy. Probably the craziest thing you've ever seen. Where I was like a bad kind of evil character and came on. I don't know if you ever knew wrestling or like.
WWF.
Yeah, you gotta do, that's my stuff, man. I totally grew up on WWF. That's some of my favorite sports to watch.
All day.
And yeah, for real. So I kind of pull some of our characterizations from WWF in a way that makes. I don't know if you ever caught wind of Glow, the St. Louis, the gorgeous ladies of wrestling, you know. So we're kind of, that was like a
do they come on like channel 30 or something late at night?
I used to, yeah. Once upon a time,
I know what you're talking about.
It was characterized totally like, you know, like the Welfare Queen and other characters that they developed were like characterizations that are really bold. So that's kind of, we play off of that, except we also play off like empowering women and like whenever we do the whole purpose of Slaw is to raise money for marginalized organizations. Anyone who is from like a female-run organization or something that serves the community in a way. So we've raised lots of money over the last 5 years. And this one we're raising funds for IFM community medicine. So 100% of the proceeds, $10 at the door, plus bribes. So what they can do is like bribe the referee to like throw the wrestler in some way. So that if you throw an extra $5 or $10 in the pot, you can choose another wrestler to come up, or you can like bribe them to go through some sort of feat of strength. There's lots of different challenges. It makes it really fun. So it makes it interactive and engaging. It's hilarious. So it makes an improv theater, right? Because you never know what's going to happen whenever they throw some bribes. Maybe there'll be a brawl buddy, which means 2 wrestlers on 1 wrestler. So there's all kinds of different challenges they throw at us. There's wild card challenges, and like every time I get into it because I'm into the theater part of it, the art part of it. So I'm making the props and I'm changing the costumes, and we're creating the themes, and then we're making the posters.
So hold on, are these arm wrestling or real wrestling?
It's arm wrestling. Like we have a metal table and we literally arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Yes. So we literally arm wrestle. There's referees there to make sure they keep it safe.
Yeah.
We have a special, legitimately built table. And we do real strength arm wrestling. But we may do some challenge, like you can do a shake weight challenge, right? So if you come up and give an extra $5, you can make one of the wrestlers shake a shake weight.
While doing the arm wrestling?
No, for 15 seconds you shake a shake weight, which looks really sexy on stage, especially if you're busty. You like do some sexy shake weight. You know what I'm saying? So you get
I want to go to this thing.
So it's all about body positivity. It's all about like totally being radical self-expression, right? That's what Slaw is all about. Is empowering people through that expression. Plus, it's about raising money, right? So it's my chance to do what I love, acting and theatrical, sort of playful improv, plus raising money for a good cause.
And ladies, does not matter what size you are.
You can be so beautiful.
Oh, the great loves you. Small, big, short or tall, fat, skinny, white, black, Asian, pink.
The great loves them all.
The great loves all of you.
All the women.
Sounds like all of you are welcome and are represented at this.
Anyone identifying as a woman or all who self-identify as a woman are welcome to participate in this St. Louis Lady Arm Wrestlers. Because we want to just specifically empower women and women-run organizations, right? This is our one chance to really... Everyone wants to smash the patriarchy. You know, everyone's character is like some sort of play on, I'm going to take down the man in some way. So I am really proud to represent what was La Diabla. My new character that came out this year in 2019 is So-and-so, the totally inappropriate clown. So part of what So-and-so does is get up on a soapbox and really sort of express her freedom of speech. So you can say whatever it is you need to say. You're welcome to say.
You do this at the?
Yeah, that's part of my character. So I'm really excited to bring that. Of course, so-and-so, the totally inappropriate clown, will totally do something absolutely inappropriate, which gives me license to like absolutely play and have the best time. So.
And why do you guys only do this 4 times a year?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole spectacle, big show. There's the whole script gets written. We have different wrestlers come in, go throughout the year. So different people in different organizations, and it's really, we have collective meetings where we talk about who we're going to fundraise for. And
Did you say August 20th?
August 17th. August 17th.
Cool. Okay, because my son's birthday is the 20th, so yes. It's
Saturday, August 17th at the Heavy Anchor. Nice. Camp Mrs. Sloppy, Slaw 20, benefiting IFM Community Medicine.
Okay.
100% of the proceeds go to that, so bring $10 at the door.
Wow.
And then bring some cash for bribes. There's a Belle of the Brawl. There's like a beauty pageant. One of the things that I do is I sell sponsorship, and I let people sign my body for a certain amount of money. So you can take a Sharpie and
that is so tight.
And then I go up on the stage and I'll talk about your business. I'll help promote. So that's what so-and-so does.
Well, I'll definitely be, if I'm there, have you do some high off the glass promotion.
Have to see it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. So I can do high off the glass.
Please. We'll definitely work that out ahead of time. But that is amazing. That is something that is definitely worth everyone's time. August 17th, Heavy Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Gravois.
I don't know. Gravois, South Gravois, past the Bevo Mill. Gravois,
past Bevo Mill.
Yep, past the Bevo Mill.
All right, past the Bevo Mill in St. Louis. Heavy Anchor.
Yep.
Google it. August 17th. You guys got to be down there. You guys got to check that out because I think I'm gonna go. That sounds so amazing. That sounds like something that I see why it's only 4 times a year, because yes, it is a spectacle.
Oh my God, you're going to love it. You're going to laugh so much. It's a comedy show. It's all improv, and it's really just supporting each other and having the best time.
Right. It's really, only once. It's like it may be 4 times a year, but it's literally like a once in a lifetime thing, because I know everyone is different.
Absolutely.
Everyone is its own unique thing.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's
crowd.
So good.
You get to perform. You get to be a part of it as the crowd too, because it's all about crowd engagement.
Oh wow.
So you get
it's
to be
interactive.
on the show.
Of course, it's interactive.
But women don't arm wrestle men. We kind of make a point of saying, no, men and women, we will not arm wrestle a man. It's just our bodies are built differently, and a man, and it's we really take it seriously, and we do safety training, and the referees keep us from getting hurt in any way, because you can easily break your arm in arm wrestling. We're so legitimate. We don't want to hurt each other.
Right.
We also do real feats of strength. I want to win. I want to win so bad when I'm up there. I am ferociously using all the strength in my body to win. Yeah. And these women are so strong. Yeah. One of the women I cannot beat. This woman was like a EMT first responder, so she was epically strong. There was no way I could beat her. She was undefeatable. Right. Another one of the ladies, Rebecca, she also plays Abraham Lincoln, so she's got the sexy version of Abraham Lincoln that's amazing. And she can like be a flagpole on a pole. She's a pole dancer, so she can like be a flag and hold herself out straight.
So she's mad strong, upper body strength.
She's super slender, beautiful lady that's I should say a lady arm wrestler, that identifies as I don't know. I'm gonna hate
pole
to say
dancer.
Whatever. She's dancing exactly. She identifies as a pole dancer.
But you know what? You know what makes a lot of sense that you said that I want to dig into. That's a great point you make.
Yeah.
No, we're very interactive. We want crowd engagement. We want you all to be involved in the show. But no, we're not going to let men arm wrestle women, because we know there's a difference. See, back in, I want to say, the 70s, when women, women wanted their rights, know, and it started
in sports. There's a difference. There should be a difference. Women on women, men on men.
Exactly.
Play each other like that.
There was a lot of, we can take on a man, and then, no, you can't. And it's not our
bodies are physically built differently. It is not fair. Now we can race and see who wins the race. Yeah. Still, I don't think it's completely fair.
Yeah, it's
you got to be based against someone who's your physical stature that's equal.
Exactly. And so that's not a sexist thing.
No, it's a thing.
That's a science thing. That's how God made it. Mm-hmm. I really hate that. People want to. What was it? The transgender man is a woman now and wants to race against women and is mad because they won't let him. No, man. I'm sorry.
Ooh,
I don't think you can.
that
and
is
that's
such a
that's
hot button question right now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
If there
can't do
was
that. That's unfair.
Mm.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
You're a man, dude. You know what I'm saying? You want to be a woman, that's fine. If you want to do that, I don't want, that's your
Say
thing.
competing in sports. It's
But-
such a hot button.
But when you compete in sports,
hmm
that's not fair to them.
Exactly. So
You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
that a man who identified as a woman, if they were trans and they wanted to arm wrestle, I
Yeah.
think we would still let them
I think you
to
would.
empower the female woman nature. We would definitely
Yeah.
support that.
And then when that man that's trans comes down there and breaks all of y'all fucking arms,
I know. Then we would
Then
be like,
what?
well,
then what?
then that's
You know what I'm
not
saying?
fair.
Yeah.
See, that's
I guess we
that's
had to
such a
learn the
good
hard
question.
way.
That's such a good conversation that we're not having right now.
Oh, it's awesome, though.
with all of this, with all of the it's so many letters. It's so
Yeah.
many letters. I don't understand why it's so many letters. But with gay rights exploding, which is fine. I mean, anyway. But it's that's that. But there's a question that needs to be had. When is too much, or when are we going out of the extremes? Like, I don't know.
You believe you let people choose to be what they want to be. Like at the
Right.
same time,
Right.
when it's competitive, like sports,
Right.
that's whenever we get to measure science
Right.
and like stand in that space and still want to be able to support the choice that they make.
Right,
If
right.
like that's what's truly right, and we
Yeah.
don't get to judge or choose.
Right.
However, keep it fair. If this tranny's
Yeah.
breaking arms, that's
Right.
not fair.
Right. Exactly.
They're twice as tall as me, and their arms are twice as long as mine. We're not really, but at the same time, I'm going to give it my all, and I'm going to empower that woman to make the choices, be a woman, and like be proud of her.
I hear
for
you.
her being what she is.
And
Absolutely,
I hear you on that.
Wonder Woman.
I hear you on all that, and you can do that with Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah,
But if Caitlyn wanted to play sports,
Yeah.
and play on the women's team, and Caitlyn gets herself now, Caitlyn isn't like how Bruce was, saying not
Yeah.
as young as Bruce was, but if Caitlyn gets herself up to peak physical condition, which fucking Caitlyn could do,
yeah,
because Caitlyn's an Olympic
be
fucking
$1 million
athlete. You know what I'm saying?
woman
So,
now.
Now what? You know what I'm saying? Now, and Caitlyn tries to compete against women.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Well, let's leave that one up for God to decide.
Oh man, that's a
We
great
might have to
conversation.
leave that one up for
That's a great conversation. I
We'll
love to.
ruminate on that one. That's the next topic.
I'd love to come
Let's
back.
get it. Let's get some trannies in here to have that conversation with.
You know what?
Well, I wouldn't use that
Oh,
phrase.
phrase.
Yeah.
Oh,
Transgender. I think.
Transgender.
Yeah,
Thank
like
you.
when you truncate that
And that's
that word.
And that's what her homegirls. Those are her people.
I know.
I think that
Well,
just shows what we got to learn. That
Right,
there's so much
right.
of that out there, and I want to be in most respect, and then
Yeah.
say something of faux pas.
But you know what? Yeah.
I don't mean it in any derogatory way.
Yeah,
I mean it with
yeah.
absolute love, and still it's a faux pas.
Yeah.
So we got to be careful about what we say.
Yeah.
Just to have the most respect we can for others.
Yeah.
Right. That's real. That's the real bottom line. Is how can we do that?
Yeah.
And still play fair. Play
Yeah.
fair. When is that agreement? Like,
Right.
everybody wants to win. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to lose.
Yeah, we got to play fair.
You got to play fair.
A lot of times people want to play fair though.
No,
they don't want to play fair. They want
scandal.
They want that advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to say, Mr. Tom, Sonia Day.
Going that direction.
Oh wow!
All right, what a weird conversation.
No, that was.
that
I
was
want to
good.
go in that direction.
Yeah,
I kind of do too.
Talk to your people, see if they'll come on the show and discuss it with me.
I want to bring on the Weed Squad. I want to bring on my Maher Slaw. I want to bring in my girl with the CBDs. We have so much we can talk about.
Please.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to share this with you. Thank you for this
Sonia,
opportunity.
thank you so much for coming through.
Oh, I
this
love
has been
it.
great.
I love it.
This
Thank
has
you.
been awesome.
I hope I didn't ramble too much. Not too much rambling.
No, I think you did good. I
You
think,
did not.
yeah.
He was your Rambler coach.
Yeah, thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See?
And then keep us correct. Thank you for the political correctness, Tom.
Yeah,
And thank you.
Right. He came through with a clutch. You know what I mean? There's a reason why he said right
I'm
here.
learning. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to end the show the same way I do every week. I ended with another reason why St. Louis needs a NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
I try to end every show with another reason, and I have so many reasons. But today's reason basically is inspired by you and folks like you. The NBA needs a team in St. Louis because it will empower local St. Louis artists, musicians, everyone who creative people in St. Louis. They'll have something else to feed off of.
Get our boys inspired to play basketball.
Exactly.
Please.
But that's another reason. But this, I mean, literally, I can see it inspiring the creative St. Louis community because they'll see the logo, they'll see the team playing, they'll see something that'll spark
more team spirit everywhere.
some kind of creative thought in their mind, and it'll make them create a song
St. Louis,
or
NBA.
art for it, or this or that, or inspire a St. Louis Spirits event where we have the basketball team do a block party or something amazing like that. It takes up all the Market Street.
Yes.
You know, it was just, I think it would be great for the St. Louis community arts for us to have that here, because that's another thing that the Cardinals and the Blues don't really, I think, take advantage of too much is the local art community here and how much they could really why don't we have more handwritten, more hand-drawn logos of the Cardinals and Blues around St. Louis? That's so St. Louis. Why not take advantage of the artists you hear that can do that?
Inspiring me, Omar.
You know what I mean?
Oh, they're great.
I don't understand. We could use some local blues. There's not the only blues a song is Damn Gloria that came out in 1982.
Yeah.
By some lady that don't even know what the fuck St. Louis is.
Write a new blues song.
Like,
Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis, get inspired.
That's what we need. We need some local inspiration for our artists here in St. Louis, and I think a basketball team would be perfect for that. So please, let's make that happen. Movers and shakers in the NBA and in St. Louis, let's make that happen. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you again for Mr. Tom and Sonia Day for being here. They were so great. Oh, Sonia.
Thank you.
She was so outstanding, like always. And in the same way I always do, guys, keep hooping. Peace. We out. Time to smoke.
I get high.